All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. We had a bit of a technical difficulty. You know how dogs, Lily, what is she saying here? Do you know how dogs wear muzzles? I have a not actual dog, but I like have a stuffed animal and I like making it muzzle. Well, thanks for oh, you're making the dog a muzzle. I get it. I see what you're saying. Like for walking the dog, that's cute. Thank you. Ollie says, I'm good. I'm spreading a bunch of kindness and trying to hit a big number, so I think I'm going to move to the next live. You have a blessed day. You too, Ollie Pop. Thanks for stopping by and spreading some kindness. Uh, all right. All right, last drawing of the evening. What's up, Alex the Fox? Are you an artist? Welcome to the stream. Uh, are you an artist, Alex? Be sure and subscribe to the channel while you're here, please. Okay, something like, oh, this feels like working. All right, something like that. Wait. All right, something like this. All right, now bear with me here. One of my pencils isn't working. This one goes behind here. We might have here. All right, how do we feel about that? Can anybody tell what it is yet? Alex, you're an artist as well. Be sure and subscribe. If you want to join the Discord, share your art. People would love to see it. Be right back, says Zox. All right, come on back, Zox. How are we doing in Twitch? The stream locked back in for y'all on Twitch. What's the chat looking like over there? All right, let's get back in here. All right, so what we need to do is kind of imply these guys. All right, something like that. Okay, something like that. So I'm trying to put all the lines here, but I'm also like not trying to be overly concerned if everything's in the right place. We're just gonna use the reference as kind of a loose guide and then do what we want from there. So there's like a hand here, maybe. Let's overly draw that hand so it's kind of exposed. Okay, so that's the beginning. Think of it think of it kind of like a sculpture where like you just kind of got to put the clay or get the stuff you're going to sculpt with all down on the paper first. Once you got it down, then we can start sculpting. So we got enough now to kind of get to sculpting. So let's get to sculpting. So let's find some shadows here. Something like that. We want to kind of imply that arm right here. And imply another arm here, maybe something like that. Maybe. And I'm not sure if these are in the right spots, but we're just uh we're just putting shadows down. If they go in the right place, cool. If they don't, cool. We'll call it self-expression or we'll call it cubism or whatever we want to call it. Right, something like that. Okay, so now that we got some of that stuff down, dang, got my charcoal pencil. Now that we got some of that down, let's start smudging and see what happens. All right, Zox is back. Okay, something like that. All right, so now let's find some highlight. Let's see what we can figure out here. See if we can pull this back together. All right, so we have like highlight here on his hat, I think. Is what we'll look at. Like that's the front of his hat. Another highlight here on that side of his hat. Okay, and then like his shoulder here has a bit of a highlight. And I'm playing the same game where like I want to hit the right lights and shadows, but they don't have to be in the right spots necessarily. I just want to make sure they're there. And if some of the highlights actually end up being in the wrong spots, it's okay. Because like the thing is your art only has to be kind of what you've decided it has to be. So if you decide it needs to be real, then you need to spend your time making it real. If you think it needs to be expressive, then you need to spend your time making it expressive. But I think like it's good to know like what your goal is, number one, and also like, it's nice to maybe try to understand what's important and what's not important. That's always a good exercise in life is to just kind of like take stock of what's important to you and what's not important to you and then go in that direction. And if realism is what's important to me in this particular piece of art or in this particular scenario, then that's where I need to focus. But if I'm not necessarily focusing on realism, what am I focusing on? And we're focusing on composition and shape and form and expression. And 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 so the question is that happening? Are we having fun? Does the piece of art feel expressive? Um, is it finding? Are we finding interesting shapes and interesting lines? Are we reiterating shadows and highlights? But like, let's try to also like understand that maybe we don't have all the control that we thought we had. Like you go in, like I'm gonna control this drawing. I'm gonna draw exactly what I want, and maybe you can learn that you don't get to control everything. You might not even get to control your own drawing sometimes. Like let it have a life of its own, and if the drawing becomes something else, then let it do what it's gonna do. And because there's no right and wrong, it's just all about doing what works best for you and trying to find that. And that's a hard part too, is like finding what kind of things are important to you. What are the things that you're trying to express through your work? What are the things that you're trying to avoid in your work? And then like more than just like, hey, I'm gonna make a realistic drawing. What are your ideals? What are the things you're trying to express? What's important to you, and how do you get that off of your chest, or how do you tell the world something like that? Rather than I'm just going to have a perfect drawing. You know, maybe what you're doing is you don't have the perfect drawing. You have some kind of expression. You know. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can pull this crazy chaos back. All right. Yeah. You want to push and pull, so we're finding highlights and shadows, highlights and shadows, highlights and shadows. I'm fighting a little bit of foreshortening here that I'm trying to fix. Maybe that'll help pull it in. Apply more here. Okay, less here. Like that. Alright, so let's find some more highlights in this guy. Alright, Something like that. Maybe like this. It's hot now. Have like a highlight on his face here. You know, maybe like a highlight on could be his neck, a chin, like that. I guess that's what's happening here. Hey Siri, stop the alarm. All right, yo, that's my alarm. I gotta go. But I'm gonna give the drawing about 1 more minute, and then I gotta go. But before I go, I want to remind you, um, if you're an artist or you're a creative person, or even if you're not an artist or a creative person, uh, you can take out a pencil and you can draw just like I can, and you can do it just to have fun, and you can make an ugly drawing, and you can throw it away. But I want to remind you that when you're making art, it's not just about drawing pretty pictures. Sometimes it's about self-expression. So if you're having a bad day and you're dealing with conflict at school or at work or with your family, your parents, your loved ones, maybe you're just dealing with some kind of conflict within yourself. But I want you to remind yourself that you don't have to take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on yourself. Take it out on art. So take out a sheet of paper. If you're having a bad day, draw about that bad day.